I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this was a Patreon request from Jumpin' Galaxies. And what's interesting is it's really cool. He gives, for his Patreon requests, and don't get me wrong, I love the reviews and re-reviews as well as requests, but it's interesting he gives out topics. I think that's really cool. Makes it a little bit different. And like I say, if anyone wants to request any type of video, it doesn't just have to be reviews, doesn't just have to be re-reviews, it could be pretty much any type of video. You just send the request either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Links are down below in the info box. And like Jumpin' Galaxies, the topic he wanted me to talk about this month is to discuss the boxers and the Rocky franchise. I thought, okay, that's really interesting. I mean, obviously, if I'm going to give a rank to my favorite to least favorite, I mean, my favorite's obviously Rocky Balboa, of course. Then I would go with Ivan Drago, Clubber Lang, Apollo Creed. Then, honestly, Tommy Gunn, Antonio Tarver, whatever his character's name was, Drago's son, and then last, and he deserves fucking dead last because he's a fucking dead fish, Adonis Creed, the dickhead. Creed the dick. Now to discuss, I mean, Rocky Balboa, what more can I say? The 1,000,001 shot, you know, I have reviewed all the Rocky films. I reviewed most of Sylvester Stallone's films. They're on the channel. There's even a playlist of Sylvester Stallone reviews. I like many of Stallone's films, not of recent years, but a good check of his career. I liked a lot of his movies. And Rocky Balboa, just a very likable character. Even when he was in the first film, he's told to break people's thumbs, and he doesn't want to do that. How about break your thumbs? He's a guy who means well. He's not the most articulate, but he does mean well. He's got a great heart to him, and that heart really gets him through the battles. Even in the early part of his career, where he's not the technical fighter, he's more of a brawler, but he's got the heart and stamina to keep going and ultimately go the distance, and then the second time around win, and then become the champion, get back on his feet. And that's why the Rocky Balboa character has become such a big part of pop culture and such a great character, is because he is a definitive point of never giving up, of determination. I mean, countless upon countless videos are out there on YouTube and anywhere on the web when they talk about using the word determination or inspiration. And how many inspirational videos where they talk about, for example, Stallone's speech in Rocky Balboa. It ain't about how hard you hit, about how hard you did hit and keep moving forward. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It will beat you to your knees and keep you there, unless you let it. If you want to find out what you're worth, then go out and find out what it's worth. But stop pointing fingers at it was me or you or him. Cowards do that and they ain't you. You're better than that. This is a guy who worked and trained, and we've seen him train with all the montages, which I love montages. I love the Rocky montages, at least for the first 6 movies. And, well, the 5th one didn't really have it, but you know what I mean. And Rocky Balboa, you know, his love story with Adrian, very touching love story. How he got this mousy, shy, unsure of herself woman out of her box, out of her shell. You know, take off the glasses, make her loosen up, and then to the point instead of huddled, then in crowd she'd be like, Rocky, Rocky. You know, change her life for the better. And how, you know, he loves his kid, even in Rocky 5, and loves his kid and wants to protect his kid. And yeah, he gets into with Tommy Gunn, but he didn't act like a dick. He didn't act like an asshole. Just a guy. That's the thing. Like, even during that, Rocky was never a dick or an asshole. Just off the path, and then he got back on again. And plus, you know, Rocky had a good sense of humor. I feel like a Kentucky Fried Idiot. And he's a guy who's not the smartest and not the most articulate. I mean, Rocky 2, when he's trying to do the commercial. Beast Aftershave. Take 52 or whatever. And that's the thing with Rocky 2 is that, hey, he can find success. He went the distance. Maybe he could do this stuff. But it doesn't work out. He's not a guy who's right for commercials. Although he did later do commercials in Rocky 3, so I guess he must have learned something after that. It says like with Rocky 3 and Rocky 4, it seemed like his character got a bit more articulate, a bit smarter. And then Rocky 5, I don't know what. I mean, they say brain damage, but apparently that brain damage went away because they don't mention it much in Balboa and the other films. But I mean, Rocky Balboa, like I said, a great symbol of not giving up, inspiration, determination, great character. You know, love Rocky. The son of Philadelphia. Now, number 2, I'd probably pick Ivan Drago, mainly because, number 1, I'm a sucker for Dolph Lundgren. I am a Dolph Lundgren fan. That's why I did a marathon where I reviewed most of his movies. As I'm getting these stupid alerts from email. Shut up. Slowing my webcam down. But Ivan Drago, like I said, because I'm a big fan of Dolph Lundgren, and granted, I think there are many other characters I enjoy of Dolph's. I Come in Peace, Shota Tokyo, Men of War. He does have a great look and presence, which can go a long way at times. Ivan Drago is one of those things. He just had this big, physical, imposing, scary. Like, to me, he's a guy that you look at and you go, can Rocky take him? Of course, even when I first saw the film, I know he's going to win. But it's still that so powerful at how he towers over Stallone, and just the look with the haircut and the bleach blonde hair and the steely eyes, the cold eyes. I think it was the right call to give him a few bits of dialogue, which apparently Rocky 4, they don't put a lot more Ivan Drago dialogue in. That's one of the various reasons why I don't care about Rocky 4 director's cut. I'll see it because people will request it. But if you're telling me if I look forward to it, no, because I like Rocky 4 the way it is. I don't see improvements You either don't take away the charm or you don't take away what makes it fun. And giving Ivan Drago more dialogue, that's one of the reasons why Ivan Drago works, is because he's a man of few words. Because what he says makes an impact. Think about all the dialogue he says. You remember, this is few and far in between, and each one is an impactful. If he dies, he dies. You remember that. I must break you. He's a guy who doesn't give a shit about talking trash. He doesn't give a shit about having goddamn paragraphs of dialogue. He's a machine. Hit the one in the middle. You see, he's not a machine. He's a man. And then Ivan Drago, like, he's like a piece of iron. By the subtitle, but. And you feel the powerful movement, like the powerful punches, just how a formidable being Ivan Drago is. And he's like, I don't want to get in the ring with that guy. And that's the thing, like, I don't want to get in the ring with anybody, but if I could, like, Apollo Creed, maybe I can reason with him. He's talkative, fun, talking trash. Clubber Lane, a bit scarier, but you get tired, as Rocky does. But with Ivan Drago, just seems almost unstoppable. And that imposing physical force of nature and the steely-eyed presence of Dolph Lundgren, I think, really showed a prominent opponent for Rocky. And I would say, while my favorite final fight is probably Rocky 3, because that's one of the times Rocky really used technique along with his determination, the battle in Rocky 4 is pretty epic too. Plus with Vince DiCola's great music. That's another thing with director's cut, is you don't put Bill Conti music. He's probably going to cut out some of the songs. See, but Rocky 4, we'll see. You know what I would rather see? A special edition of Demolition Man. But he didn't direct it. See, that's the thing. It has to be on the film. He directed Rocky 4, so he has more control over that. But anyway, this part was like, why are you? Well, that's someone else's business. Someone else made and directed Demolition Man. Just worry about other projects. Like, what about? How about the uncut version of Cliffhanger? A cleaned up version of that. Can we see that? I'd rather see that, the uncut version of Cliffhanger, or all the deleted shit from Demolition Man, like the fight you had with Jason Ventura. But anyway, that's another thing. Another deal. Now, Clubber Lane, the reason I put him as number 3 is just that, number 1, the look. People, that's not important. It is, because it's a visual medium, and Mr. T with the animal, like, ready to eat you, and the mohawk, and he's mine, just ready to chew. He's ready to chew on Rocky's soul with Clubber Lane. And then when he first meets Rocky, he had that rage and that hunger and that eye of the tiger. To the point he looked like he was an actual fucking tiger that was going to eat people. And of course, that Mr. T way of shooting out the dialogue. You're gonna hurt him. Gonna hurt him real bad. What's the prediction tonight? Pain. And again, at first he's a guy, again, you don't want to be in the ring with. But once Rocky realizes you gotta tire him out, he's bad. Well, I ain't breathing heavy. Apollo Creed's like, what the hell you doing? Just stand there getting knocked out? That takes no credit. You did tired. Don't think, Rock. Just do it. Go knock his head off. And I think that's what I liked about Clubber Lane, is that granted it became his flaw, but his animosity and ferocious energy They just really get into the fights, which made him intimidating, but then again became his crutch by the end of it. You know, again, an imposing figure and force for Rocky. In a different way of Ivan Drago, but still someone is like, okay. And then he did beat Rocky. I mean, really, Apollo won a technicality in the first film, but the only person to knock Rocky Balboa out. The only person. Then Rocky got the rematch. So, that... even Apollo Creed couldn't do that. And he fought him twice. So, yeah, Clubber Lang felt like a more dangerous opponent. Just how he tore Rocky to shreds that first time. So I did give him a little bit of the credit and the merit of that. Granted, Rocky wasn't prepared because he fucked himself up, because he was too worried going on the goddamn treadmill, taking pictures. But, you know, that's the part of the story. One of the many things that makes Rocky 3 a good story. To the point they ripped it off for... what was that fucking film? Well, many films ripped it off, but there's one in particular I had it and I lost it. Whatever. Now, yes, gotta put Apollo Creed at number 4. Part of me was like, should I put him so low on the list? But because I love Carl Weathers and I love the character Apollo Creed. And on the one hand, I guess part of me was going to put him in number 2 because he's definitely the most interesting of he was a villain and then he becomes an ally. And he definitely has technically the most character arc of anybody. But I guess I viewed them as opponents. Okay, if I viewed them as characters, let me put it this way. If I view them as characters, then yes, Apollo Creed is the most interesting character after Rocky Balboa. If I viewed the others as opponents of Rocky, then I put him where he's at. Because the reason I said the others felt more imposing, more formidable. But again, as a character, I would say Apollo Creed would be number 2. Because, like I said, he has the most arc of almost any character franchise. Just think about it, he is cocky and it's all a show. It's gonna be all a game to him in the first film. Oh, don't give a guy a million to one shot. Okay, sounds like a damn monster movie, The Italian Stallion. Apollo Creed versus the Italian Stallion. It's all for show and fun, and he doesn't realize that this guy is really in for it. Then the second time, he's much more determined, and he still loses. Then the third, he becomes an ally and a friend. I'm going to help train him. And the 4, a dear friend, who then sadly dies. And part of me wishes he didn't die. Other part of me is like, I get why, because of the story. But honestly, I think in retrospect, you could have had the same and have him get really, like, in a coma. Granted, you already did the coma in part 2 with Adrian, but it wouldn't be the first time the same thing has been done in a Rocky film, so could have done that. Like, he hurt himself and you're not allowed to box again, or I don't know, it's the various real injuries that a lot of boxers go through. Could have done. But I guess people thought, well, if he's still alive, maybe you wouldn't get as much of the thrust of determination of revenge than the fact that he died. I don't know. Guess that's up to the viewer. But yeah, Apollo Creed definitely has the fun, verbal communication. He's very fun in his trash talking, even when he's trying to trash talk Ivan Drago, which did not end well for him. And, Carl Weathers is an underrated guy. Action star, actor, deserved a lot more leading roles. He was fun in films like Action Jackson. He worked well in films like Predator. Just Carl Weathers, very entertaining personality. Like I said, very solid actor. It was cool to see him become friends with Rocky in Rocky 3. That made it a bit interesting, a bit unique. And you really see a change in his character when you watch the first 4 Rocky films. So like I said, as a character, he would be number 2. As a opponent of Rocky, for me, he's behind Drago and Clubber Lang. Now, the rest of them, that was a bit fucking tougher. I mean, I put Tommy Gunn number 1 in honor of the actor. May he rest in peace. It's sad that he's no longer with us. Tommy Morrison. And at least with his character, there's a bit more of an interesting story, at least to me, compared to the others. Even Adonis, yeah. You know, it's funny, I mentioned that, and I almost wanted to puke or burp. I'll get to that motherfucker later. But at least Tommy Gunn, it seemed like at the beginning he meant well, but then he just got pulled into greed and wanting to sell out, wanting to be rich and famous, not living in Rocky's shadow, and you know, there you go. So it made it at least a bit of a different aspect on the guy who would be the villain, the opponent of Rocky, with the fist fight at the end. Gave a little bit different perspective, a little bit different, unique look, so it wasn't a carbon copy of the previous films. And I don't think the actor did that bad for what role he was given to play. And so like compared to the others like Drago's son and Antonio Tarver, they felt a bit more to the character. Again, because of the stuff I said where he was. It seemed like he meant well and he wanted to, hey, I really want to do this, and then, like I said, the Don Teen wannabe kind of led him astray. So again, that is what made me put it where the place he's at. I definitely don't think he's as interesting of a personality compared to Apollo, or not nearly as formidable as Drago or Clubber Lang, but while Rocky 5 is a very flawed film, and I think the work print of that movie is better than the theatrical cut, I do think that he wasn't really the big problem with the film. Now, the last 3, I didn't know where the fuck to rank them, because Antonio Tarver, Drago's son, and Adonis. I put Antonio Tarver because I like Rocky Balboa. There's really not much I mean, he's an actual boxer, so he definitely has the experience for the boxing sequences. I don't even remember his fucking name of his character. There's really nothing to the character other than people think he's won the boxing matches easily, and they think he's got no heart. And then, yeah, people think he's got no heart. And so I guess because he went the distance with Rocky, it showed that he had heart. Oh, it'd be more like, oh wow, you went the distance with a 60-year-old man, and you didn't knock him out. So to me, I would think it would damage Antonio Tarver, that character's career even more so, but what do I know? You had so much heart that you couldn't knock out a 60-year-old man. But it's Rocky Balboa. Well, that's true. But yeah, that's one of the weak aspects of Rocky Balboa. I mean, I love Rocky Balboa, but it's not because of Antonio Tarver. I mean, I get that I think honestly Sly should have gotten an actor and then teach him how to box instead of a boxer which then you have to teach how to act. Because that's what he did before. I mean, whether it be even Dolph Lundgren or Tommy Morrison was a boxer, to be fair. But honestly, I thought he was a better actor than Antonio Tarver. Like, just very indifferent on Antonio Tarver. There's really not much to say. Maybe it's the writing of his character. Maybe that's part of it too, to be fair. For me, there's just not much to say about that character. And then Drago's son and Adonis Creed. First, I don't like the Creed films, so that's one big part of it. Drago's son, I just put above Adonis because Drago's son annoyed me more. He annoyed me a lot less, and Adonis annoyed me a lot fucking more. So, I mean, Drago's son, at least he's the son of Ivan Drago. And part of me wanted him to beat the fuck out of Adonis Creed. Let Drago's son win. The last was Adonis Creed. Fuck Adonis Creed. He's a piece of fucking shit character. He's an annoying twat. He's an asshole. He's a crybaby bitch. He had a life of fucking privilege. He had all these fucking chances, but yet I'm supposed to buy that he's, oh, I'm an underdog. Oh yeah, an underdog with nice fucking clothes and rich, you could be part of rich fucking houses. So, well, I could live in this mansion, I could do all this stuff, but no, I am an underdog. I'm going to do this because I'm the illegitimate son. Which, yeah, thank you for making Apollo Creed a cheating some bitch too. Thank you, movie. Thank you for that. But I'm sorry, I don't get the appeal of Creed, Adonis Creed. I don't think he has a charming personality. I don't give a fuck about him doing a wannabe remake of the first film. He just comes off as a prick all the time. Even in the sequel, Creed 2 comes off as a prick. A cocky prick that you want to see knock the fuck down. Didn't he talk shit about Rocky in Creed 2? Is it even after all this? You still don't talk shit? Fuck you, Adonis. Sit on Adonis' dick, why don't ya? Fucking he always just annoys the piss out of me. I hated that character. That was annoying as hell. Annoying as fucking pissing in the wind. Or pissing in your pants. I mean, I ranted on the Creed films. I kind of said what all I wanted about Creed, Adonis Creed, in those films. I always hated that fucking character. When I first saw him, he annoyed the piss out of me. Michael B. Jordan, I think in those films, he doesn't showcase his acting well. I don't. Fuck, I'd rather watch fucking Fan 4 Stick for his acting than this. I think Michael B. Jordan's performances are overrated in those movies. Just the way he carries himself and the way he talks to people, even to Rocky, he just comes off as a fucking asshole or fucking prick. That's why I call him Creed the Prick. Prickless Creed. I mean, Pricky Creed. What the fuck you want to call him? Call him a cab home. Fuck Adonis. So, but those are my thoughts on the other boxers or Rocky. Hopefully it suffices. Thank you once again, Jumping Galaxies. Thank you to anyone watching this. We will see you guys later. Bye bye.